Well, it's a very rainy and wet Friday morning here in Colombo and many other places across Sri Lanka. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. Now, before we move on to stories that are happening here at home, I must talk about what happened last night with the cricket world, where Sri Lanka secured their place in the Super 4 stage of the 2025 Asia Cup T20 tournament with a dominant 6-wicket victory over Afghanistan in Dubai. The match marked the final fixture of Group B, with Sri Lanka joining Bangladesh, India and Pakistan in the next round. Now, Afghanistan, winning the toss, opted to bat first and opened with Rahmanullah Gurbaz and Sadiqullah Atal. However, Sri Lankan pacer Nuwan Tushara quickly dismantled the top order, dismissing Gurbaz for 14, Karim Janat for 1 and Atal for 18, leaving Afghanistan struggling at 40 for 3. Further damage was inflicted by Dushmanta Chameera, who removed Darwish Razul for 9, caught brilliantly by Kusal Janit Pereira. Dasun Shanaka and Dunit Velarage chipped in with wickets, while Tushara returned to dismiss Afghanistan captain Rashid Khan for 24, ending with impressive figures of 4 wickets for 18 runs. Now, despite the early setbacks, Muhammad Nabi played a blistering knock, scoring 66 off 22 balls, including 6 sixes and 3 fours, helping Afghanistan post a competitive total of 169 for 8 in their 20 overs. Now, in response, Sri Lanka began their chase with Pathum Nisanka and Kusal Mendes. Nisanka fell early for 6, followed by Kamidu Mendes for 4. Kusal Janit Pereira added a steady 28, but it was Kusal Mendes who anchored the innings with a masterful unbeaten 74 off 50 balls, featuring 10 boundaries. Kamidu Mendes supported with an unbeaten 26. Now, Sri Lanka reached the target in 18.4 overs, losing just 4 wickets, sealing their place in the Super 4. From Group B, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh advance, while India and Pakistan qualify from Group A. Now, Sri Lanka's Super 4 fixtures are scheduled as follows: versus Bangladesh, it's tomorrow, versus Pakistan on the 23rd of September, and versus India on the 26th of September. Now, all these matches will be broadcast live on TV1 and streamed via sirasatv.lk. Well, some interesting matches to look forward for Sri Lankan cricket fans. Now, let's switch gears to the local scene. The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption has announced the establishment of 2 new high courts dedicated to handling bribery and corruption-related cases. Director General of the Commission, Rangad Nayaka, made the announcement during his appearance on the Mawata Vidwat Khatikawa program broadcast on Sirasa TV last night. He stated that one of the new courts is scheduled to be operational by next week. Now, trade unions affiliated with the Ceylon Electricity Board have issued a strong warning that they will resort to intensified industrial action if the ongoing restructuring process is not immediately halted and their demands are not adequately addressed. The unions argue that the government's restructuring plan, which follows the recently passed Electricity Act, will divide the CEB into 4 separate state-owned entities. They claim that many of their 24 submitted demands, primarily focused on securing benefits and guarantees during the transition, have yet to receive proper responses. Now, in recent days, unions, including the Engineers Association, along with those affiliated with the opposition parties such as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, United National Party and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, have engaged in a coordinated sick leave campaign as a form of protest. However, unions aligned with the ruling party have criticized the move, calling it unjustified and politically motivated. Now, a major initiative to upgrade 25 selected bus depots under the Sri Lanka Transport Board, or the SLTB, will officially commence today, under the guidance of the Ministry of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation. Now, the project aims to strengthen the financial and operational performance of the SLTB while improving service quality, efficiency and passenger comfort across the country. According to the ministry, the development plan is designed to revitalize neglected rural transport services and ensure reliable maintenance of buses. Now, as part of the initiative, new revenue streams and service models will be introduced at the depots, along with business opportunities tailored to local needs. The project also includes the implementation of performance-based systems to motivate staff and enhance overall productivity. Now, sticking to transport, the Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs has announced a new regulatory framework for vehicles used in student transportation. Now, the initiative is being launched in collaboration with the Sri Lanka Police and the National Transport Commission. Deputy Minister of Women and Children's Affairs, Nama Sudarshana, revealed that the regulatory measures will be rolled out during a special week dedicated to child welfare, coinciding with World Children's Day celebrations. As part of the initiative, the ministry plans to introduce a standardized sticker system for school transport vehicles. These stickers will serve as official indicators that the vehicles meet the required safety and operational standards set by the authorities. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment has established a new special investigation unit aimed at accelerating complaint resolution and strengthening efforts to prevent human trafficking. The unit will operate in close coordination with Sri Lanka Police. Now, the initiative is part of a broader strategy to enhance the efficiency and responsiveness of the Bureau in handling grievances related to foreign employment, while also addressing illegal recruitment practices and exploitation. Now, a very interesting story. A 68-year-old man who sexually abused a 4th grade schoolgirl inside a school van over a decade ago has been sentenced to 25 years of rigorous imprisonment by the Colombo High Court. The verdict was delivered by High Court Judge R.S.S. Sapwitha. The convicted individual, a father of one, had been employed as a driver transporting children to a well-known school. The incident occurred 11 years ago when the victim was just a child attending grade 4. In addition to the prison sentence, the court imposed a fine of 30,000 rupees and ordered the convict to pay 500,000 rupees in compensation to the victim. Failure to pay these amounts will result in additional imprisonment. Now, moving on, here's something interesting. Sri Lanka's third nano satellite, developed with the technical expertise of Sri Lankan engineers, is set to be deployed into orbit today at 2:15 p.m. local time from the International Space Station. That's right, from the ISS. Named Birds X Dragonfly, the satellite was transported to the ISS aboard NASA's SPX-33 rocket, which was launched on August 24th. Now, the deployment marks a significant milestone in Sri Lanka's growing presence in space research and technology. Now, the project is a collaborative effort involving the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies, Japan's Kyushu Institute of Technology, and several other institutions, including the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, and the Digital Radio Communication Institute. Former Director General of the Arthur C. Clarke Institute, Engineer Sanath Panavenage, stated that the satellite will carry out 3 primary space research missions. Let's move on to some international news. Now, a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Russia's far eastern Kamchatka Peninsula early Friday, rocking buildings and prompting authorities to issue a tsunami alert. The quake struck 128 kilometers east of the region's capital and at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers. This is according to the US Geological Survey. The local branch of Russia's State Geophysical Service gave a lower estimated magnitude of 7.4. It reported at least 5 aftershocks. The US Pacific Tsunami Warning Center issued an alert for possible hazardous waves along nearby coastlines. Now, the Kamchatka Peninsula lies on a tectonic belt known as the Ring of Fire, which surrounds most of the Pacific Ocean, and it is a hot spot for seismic activity. In July, you might remember, an 8.8 magnitude mega quake off the region's coast triggered a tsunami that swept part of a coastal village into the sea. Now, all the way in the United Nations, the United States once again vetoed a UN resolution demanding an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip following a vote in the Security Council on Thursday. The negative vote was cast as the 15-member council held its 10,000th meeting against the backdrop of famine spreading in the besieged enclave and an ongoing Israeli offensive to take full control of Gaza City. The resolution also demanded the release of all hostages held by Hamas and for Israel to lift all restrictions on the entry of humanitarian aid and ensure that it is safely distributed to the population, in particular by UN agencies and its partners. Now, the draft was put forward by the Council's 10 non-permanent members: Algeria, Denmark, Greece, Guyana, Pakistan, Panama, Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, Slovenia and Somalia. Now, according to reports, more than 64,000 people have been killed by Israeli forces in Gaza. Well, with that, we bring an end to this week's edition of the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. But if you want to keep yourself updated with all the stories that we brought to you and more developing stories throughout the day, visit our award-winning website www.newsfirst.lk. And also don't forget to subscribe to our WhatsApp channel where all these stories come to our palm-held devices. And don't forget to follow us on our social media handles on X, Facebook, Instagram, and also TikTok, as well as YouTube. And also, it's a rainy day. Don't forget to take your umbrellas. Take care.